We'll deliver a full recap of today's game, including highlights from the biggest moments. Listen to Mike Shildt's post-game comments. Plus, we'll bring you today's play of the game. From the Padres Radio Network, here's Sam Levitt.
We are live inside the Western Metal Building here at Petco Park. Final score on this Saturday evening, the Rangers 7 and the Padres 4 as the Padres drop the middle game of this three-game series, setting up the rubber game of this series tomorrow here in downtown San Diego. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park as we wrap this one up. Welcome into our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show. Final totals here today: 7 runs, 11 hits, no errors for Texas, 4 runs, 10 hits and no errors for San Diego. Padres dropped to 47 and 41. The Rangers improved to 44 and 45 with the win. We'll hear from Mike Shildt. We'll have a full game recap, all the radio highlights coming your way in a little bit as well. But to sum this one up quickly, Stephen Kolek, he had a tough outing, 5 innings and a third, 6 runs given up. Padres trailed for most of this game. They had a brief 2-1 lead after 2 innings following a Jake Cronenworth 2-run home run. But then the night became about former Padre and a guy who is really good here, and I think a fan favorite here with what he did in 2024, and that was Kyle Higashioka, who had a big day, including a home run, 5 RBIs, a 3-hit day for Kyle Higashioka. His 2-run home run in the third made it 3-2. Rangers then got 2 more in the 4th inning, 1 in the 6th inning to take a 6-2 lead. Padres would get a couple of runs in the bottom of the 7th inning to cut it to 6-4. Rangers got an insurance run in the 8th inning to make it 7-4. So the Padres, again, they were trailing for most of this game because Stephen Kolek didn't have a great outing. Another not great outing for Kolek, especially here at home. That has been a problem for him. The Padres did chip away to get close, and then they had opportunities late. Xander Bogaerts in particular came up representing the go-ahead run in the 7th inning and struck out. And then in the 9th inning, Padres had the bases loaded, trailing by only 3 runs. Xander representing the winning run at the plate and grounded out to third base to end the game. So the Padres had their late opportunities. Again, they were trailing, so they were in come-from-behind mode really most of the night, but could not find the one big hit they needed to complete a comeback or tie this game when they needed it, and they fall 7-4. When we come back, a full game recap. Again, we'll hear from Mike Shildt. Much more to do as the Rangers win it 7-4. They even up this 3-game series at a game apiece. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues after this on the Padres Radio Network.
Hey, guys, it's Woodsy. A full home repipe can cost you $20.
Back here at Petco Park, our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Hey, player, the Jamul Casino Resort is your place with the Lux Hotel Tower opening soon. New dining and a long list of amazing amenities. You'll have more ways to play and enjoy all the perks of your casino fun. Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place. Padres fall by a final score of 7-4 in the middle game of this three-game series. Again, we'll go back downstairs here from Mike Shildt in just a little bit as the Padres drop to 47-41. Rangers improve to 44-45. Let's recap this one from start to finish.
Which moments determine the outcome of today's game? We'll paint you a picture with our game highlights on the Padres Radio Network.
Stephen Kolek took the mound for the Padres in the top of the first inning. Josh Smith led off for the Texas Rangers.
He delivers, and first pitch swinging. Smith sends one to the air to very deep right. Fernando is at the wall. This one gonna go. Lead off homer, Josh Smith. First pitch of the game. Texas ahead 1-0.
So not a great start for Stephen Kolek and the Pods, but that would be all Kolek allowed in the first inning. Fast forward to the bottom of the second, Ranger starter Patrick Corbin allowed a one-out walk to Jose Iglesias. Jake Cronenworth was next.
And Cronenworth launches it in the air to deep right field. Garcia is back. He looks up. It's going to go. Two-run homer for Jake Cronenworth. And the Padres hop on top. It's 2-1.
Jake's 8th home run of the season, and the Padres, as Jesse said, had a 2-1 lead. That lead, though, very short-lived. Kolek then hit the first batter in the top of the third. That brought up former Padre Kyle Higashioka.
2-2. Higashioka in the air to deep left field. Sheets is back at the wall. Gonna go. Kyle Higashioka, his second as a Ranger, as he returns to Petco Park, makes a deposit in that Higgy bank in left field. And the Rangers go back in front. It's 3-2.
Rangers struck again against Kolek in the fourth inning. He got the first couple of outs, but then he issued a two-out walk. That was very costly. It brought up Jonah Heim.
3-2 again. Hit on a line up the right field side. That's going to get down a fair ball. Going to bounce and roll up against the Petco porch. Langford was running on the pitch. He's rounding third on his way. Iglesias' relay has no shot to get him. An RBI double for Jonah Heim. And the Ranger lead is now 4-2.
Rangers would get two straight singles after that, including an RBI single from Kyle Higashioka. That made it 5-2. Kolek pitched into the sixth. He left with a couple of base runners on. Yuki Matsui replaced him. He allowed a sac fly from Higashioka to make it 6-2. That was 4 RBIs on the day for Higgy. Kolek's final line, 5 innings and a third, 6 earned runs, and 9 hits. Meanwhile, Patrick Corbin, he was really good. Went 6 innings, allowed just the 2 runs on the Cronenworth home run. We went bottom 7. The Padres down at 6-2. Rangers righty Luke Jackson came on. He got in trouble. A walk, a single, another walk. Rangers manager Bruce Bochy then went to lefty Hobie Milner to face Jackson Merrill. Merrill hit a sac fly that scored a run and made it 6-3. Trent Brooks, who had pinch hit earlier, went from second to third. That was good base running because Manny Machado hit a sac fly, another one to score Brooks from third. It was 6-4. Padres had 2 on for Xander Bogaerts, but he struck out to end the inning. So the Padres pulled within 2, but they could not do more than that. Brian Hoeing came on for the top of the 8th inning. He'd allow a single, a walk, an RBI single to Kyle Higashioka, his 5th RBI of the night, and that put the Rangers ahead 7-4. Padres still trailed 7-4, heading to the bottom half of the 9th inning. Left-hander Robert Garcia came on for the Rangers, and the Padres would make quite a bit of noise in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Garcia walked Martin Maldonado. Jackson Merrill hit a 1-out single. Luis Ariz hit a 2-out single. With the right-handed hitting Xander Bogaerts coming up, Bruce Bochy went to right-hander Sean Armstrong. So the situation, Padres had the bases loaded. The tying runs on base, trailing by 3. Xander Bogaerts at the plate with 2 outs in the 9th, representing the winning run.
1-1 the pitch. Bogaerts breaks his bat, grounds it to third base. It's a fair ball. Smith steps on the bag to force Merrill, and the ball game is over. Padres make some noise here in the bottom of the 9th inning, but the Rangers hold on and even this series with a 7-4 victory.
And that was that here tonight. Final totals for the Rangers: 7 runs, 11 hits, no errors. For the Padres, 4 runs, 10 hits, and no errors. Padres dropped to 47 and 41. Rangers improved to 44 and 45. Patrick Corbin, the winner, he was good. 6 innings, 2 runs. We'll talk more about that in our next segment. He improves to 5 and 7. Stephen Kolek took the loss. He's 3 and 4. And the save goes to Sean Armstrong, his third of the season. And now the Padres will try to avoid dropping a third consecutive series tomorrow. Padres lost 2 out of 3 in Cincinnati. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Philadelphia Phillies. And now it'll be a rubber match of this series against the Rangers here at home tomorrow. When we come back, we hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. Again, the final score: Rangers 7 and the Padres 4. Our postgame coverage continues after this on the Padres Radio Network.
You're listening to the Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show. Brought to you by the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players' Place.
Hello, radio fans. I'm Jeff Chapin, General Sales Manager over at DCH Honda Mission Valley. And here at the dealership, we're full of big savings, baby. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs, you'll find a ride, just ask for me.
DCH Honda of Mission Valley, driven by deals, powered by people. It's baseball season, and nonprofit San Diego County Bar Association is knocking it out of the park with free legal referrals. Visit homerunlawyers.com for referrals to qualified lawyers who will discuss your legal issue up to 30 minutes for free.
Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Final score in Game 2 of this 3-game set against the Texas Rangers. The Rangers 7 and the Padres 4. Sam Levitt with you inside the Western Metal Building at Petco Park as we continue to wrap this one up. Again, the final game and the now rubber game of this series tomorrow. Padres have still not announced the starting pitcher for tomorrow's game. It sounded a few days ago like maybe it was a possibility Yu Darvish could return on Sunday, but as we know, that's not going to happen. He threw a bullpen today, and it continues to sound, based on what Mike Shildt had to say earlier today, promising, everything moving in the right direction. However, the bullpen today certainly took him out of the possibility of starting tomorrow. So at the moment, and we'll hear from Mike Shildt in a moment, we'll get to see if there's any update on who will start tomorrow. I'm sure it'll be asked by the media downstairs. But we'll find out. And Jack Leiter on the mound for the Rangers tomorrow. So we'll get more info, I'm sure, at some point on the pitching matchup for the Padres against the Rangers and what becomes a rubber game of this 3-game series. On the other side of Mike Shildt talking here, we'll react to what Mike had to say. And I've got really 3 main areas of concern, if you will, from tonight's game. Really 3 areas that, where the game got lost for the Padres here tonight. So we'll focus on that on the other side of Mike Shildt talking. But again, the Padres lose 7-4 in the middle game of this series. Tough outing for Stephen Kolek. He went 5 innings and a third, 6 earned runs given up. Padres only got a couple of runs against Patrick Corbin. He went 6 strong innings, and Padres unfortunately couldn't take advantage of late opportunities when they had chances to tie the game or even win the game in their final at bat. Let's go downstairs and hear some post-game reaction.
Let's pull up a seat in the manager's office and hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt, served up by Sin Lee Food, where fresh meets flavor. Find farm fresh produce, bold Asian spices, and gourmet ingredients at 4665 El Cajon Boulevard. Sin Lee Food, the cook's Asian resource.
Mike, with the momentum you were able to put together in that last inning and that great at bat by Luis, did you get the sense you were going to be able to pull off another walk-off?
Yeah, I felt good about the whole game, quite honestly, the whole night. I liked our bats, liked our approaches, good at bats on Corbin. Lou was locked in, obviously Crony with a 2-run homer in the zone. Had some balls at guys. Bogey lined out twice to left. Liked our bats the whole way, and I felt good about it. Just couldn't stop them and couldn't get on top of them.
Was that a bigger version of Patrick Corbin that you saw tonight than maybe you've seen in previous seasons?
Well, I saw him in 2019 in the NLCS, and he was pretty good then. But, yeah, I thought he threw the ball very well. He knows how to pitch, been in the league a long time. So changeup was good, kept us all balanced. But, again, I thought our bats were good overall.
What do you think of Stephen Kolek's outing tonight?
Stephen was, good at times. I think, what hurt him is, Crony's steering homer, get the 2-1 lead, lead off, hit by pitch. Then, Higgy with the homer. That Higgy, man, 4 RBIs. But, yeah, and then 2 outs, 2 quick outs, then the walk led to the other 2 runs. So outside of a few of those things, although he threw the ball pretty well.
What did you make of – I know you know Kyle very well, for him to kind of come back here and do that?
Doesn't surprise me. I mean, we've seen him really good. He's very well liked and respected in our clubhouse, and it's hard to see him on the other side. I know he's only here for a year, but created a lot of really good bonds, and he's just a quality guy and a quality player, and he's always performed well here. So talked to him before the game, talked to him a little bit last night, but just a good guy, man, a good player, and he hurt us tonight. He was 4 RBIs.
Cronenworth, left on left.
Yep.
And I think it's really solid at bats lately.
He really has.
What have you noticed in those spots?
He really has. And Jake's a winner, man. We talk about winners finding solutions. You brought up last night, or I believe you did, AJ, the 5-game winning hits here at Petco. Jake Cronenworth's that unsung hero some nights. I mean, last night was a clear hero, but just a grindy guy, man. Just a winning player that figures things out, and a really smart player, but really talented player. And, he's looking to figure out a way to continue, and has to be consistently good with his at-bats against everybody, including lefties, and it's showing off.
You share is starting tomorrow yet? Is that out there?
We'll announce it when we get in the clubhouse. I think we're pretty close to it, but we'll know within 30 minutes, let you know. I'm not trying to be coy. Just want to make sure everybody's ducks are in a row. Yes, sir.
Hey, Mike. Fernando is now batting .211 over the last 7 weeks. Just from your vantage point, what are you seeing as maybe the root of his struggles?
Yeah, I mean, listen, numbers can lie. I don't want to, but the numbers are the numbers too, right? And they, so it can be a little bit of both. What do I make of it? Combination of things. I know he, has hit some balls at people like the at-bats tonight. He smoked the first, ball to third. He's going to get pitched really, really tough. That's part of it, but that's always going to be part of it with him. It's just a matter of, him, the game. I don't want to make excuses for anybody, but I wish he'd, just not carry so much on himself, and feel like he's got to do so much. I wish that for all our guys when they struggle a little bit. But, the bigger thing is sometimes you got to prove you're human. And the biggest thing is that I say to him, and I say publicly, is this is a really special player, done a lot of special things. So let's don't forget who we are. And Fernando Tatis is a wonderful guy and an exceptional talent. And just go play the game. But, those numbers are going to be skewed either way a little bit. They are what they are. But, you look at it and before you know it, they'll be right where we expect them to be, and he'll be in great shape, and we'll be applauding him, individually and as a city. I think this gentleman had a question.
Hi, Mike.
Hey.
Luis Ariz finished with 4 hits tonight. What did you think of his performance?
I thought it was fantastic. I know Smith makes a, leap and play, some really hops there. He could easily had 5 hits. So, I've said it similar to Toddy, right? I get asked about Louis, what's going on with Louis? And I've said it, and I'll be way more surprised if Louis doesn't win another batting title than I will if he does do it. These are talented guys, and they're going to get to where they need to get to, and Louis is on his path.
That was Padres manager Mike Shildt after this 7-4 loss for the Padres against the Texas Rangers on this Saturday evening. Sam Levitt back with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building as we continue to wrap this one up. All right, let's chew on a couple of things here. We still have not received word on who the starting pitcher will be for the Padres tomorrow. If I get word on that before we get off the air, I will pass it along. I've got my ideas of who that will be tomorrow. I'm not going to speculate, though, because I think we're close enough to that announcement that I'm not going to speculate with you and be wrong. But I've got a hunch, put it that way, as to who it's going to be. But we'll wait for the Padres to pass along the announcement as far as who will start for the Padres tomorrow. Luis Ariz did have a nice night. That was a good question at the end. Luis had a 4-hit night, had a big hit in the 9th inning that extended the inning, extended the game, allowed Xander Bogaerts to come to the plate representing the winning run, where one swing could win it for the Padres. But I said before Mike Shildt spoke that I would go over the 3 problem areas for the Padres in this game. And to me, there were really 3 buckets you could put the issues of this game into. The first was, unfortunately, Stephen Kolek had one of his rougher outings of the season, 5 innings and a third, 9 hits, 6 earned runs given up. The very first pitch of the game he threw was to Josh Smith, took him deep, and that sort of set the tone for the outing. And the issue today for Kolek wasn't just the home run. He got burned by the home run. The one he gave up to Smith, the one he gave up to Higashioka. But you look at what happened in some of these spots. Before the Higgy home run, he hits Jake Berger with a pitch, and then Higgy hits the home run. And pardon me for calling him Higgy. I know he wasn't our lovable Higgy today with the 5 RBIs, but it's a habit. And I got to catch up with Higgy inside the clubhouse earlier today, inside the Rangers clubhouse. And look, he's he's a good guy, and obviously did a lot of good things here. I thought he was excellent here last season with how he performs. But Higashioka had a big night. But again, he hits Berger to start that inning, sets up the Higashioka home run. Then he gets the first 2 outs of the 4th inning. And I think you could really argue this was his biggest mistake of the night in a way. Got the first 2 outs of the 4th inning, but then walks Langford, the 3rd batter of the inning. And then from that point on, it was double, single, 2 runs come in. So that's an inning where he had 2 outs, nobody on. And that 2-out walk really came back to bite him. Ultimately gets charged with another earned run in the 6th inning. And again, 6 earned runs given up on 9 hits, 1 walk, struck out 2 in 5 and a third. But the hit by pitch and that 2-out walk, that was just a real rough part of this game for Stephen Kolek, because he was very close to getting out of that inning a couple of times in the 4th. So look, anytime you fall behind and your starting pitcher isn't great and you're trailing 6-2, it's going to be an uphill battle, and it was. And the Padres got somewhat up the hill, but couldn't get to the top of the hill when they trailed by 4 runs. The other, I think, really significant issue in this game, and it can get overlooked by the Padres not getting that big hit late when they had opportunities, was the fact that they only got 2 runs against Patrick Corbin. Now, Corbin is a guy who the Padres have seen a ton of, who they have traditionally hit hard. Keep in mind, I'm just going to read some notes here on Patrick Corbin. And again, this is a veteran left-hander, okay, who's perfectly capable of going out there and doing what he did tonight. However, let me read some stuff on Patrick Corbin to just put it in perspective. Last 5 seasons, Patrick Corbin had a 5.62 ERA. He allowed the most hits and earned runs of any pitcher in baseball in 3 of the past 5 seasons. And the Padres entering today had historically seen a ton of Corbin, 21 starts against the Padres and a 4.70 career ERA against them. He had a 6.75 ERA against the Padres in his last 5 starts against them before today, a 4.52 ERA in this building in 73-plus career innings. So the point is, this is usually a guy they hit well, and aside from the Cronenworth home run, they didn't score anything else against him. I mean, he only gave up 2 runs on 6 hits, and both came on the Cronenworth home run. So that was the first offensive issue today. The second offensive issue was the Padres made noise. They made noise in the 7th inning. They scored a couple of runs after loading the bases on a couple of sac flies, but then Xander Bogaerts comes up in the 7th inning, strikes out with 2 on. That ends that rally, and then they rally again in the 9th inning. Bases loaded, and Bogaerts strikes out, representing the winning run. So look, they needed a big hit in this game, and they couldn't get it. In fact, the Padres had only 1 hit with a runner in scoring position, and it was the single in the 9th inning for a rise, but nobody scored on it because Maldonado, who was on third, he stopped at third base. He was on second. So the 1 hit they did have with runners in scoring position tonight, they didn't score a run. So really, you look at this. To me, there are a few things that made the difference in this game. Number one, just the outings for Kolek versus Corbin. Simply, final lines. Kolek 5 1/3, 6 runs given up. Corbin 6 innings, 2 runs given up. Then you look at the home runs. Padres got 2 runs on their home runs, and the Rangers got 3 on the solo shot by Smith and the 2-run shot by Higashioka. And then the Rangers were able to tack on 3 for 7 with runners in scoring position. And the Padres, only went 1 for 6. And the 1 hit they did have with runners in scoring position, again, did not score a run. And they needed another. They needed one or two more hits with RISP tonight to ultimately tie or win this game. So those were the issues, the way I see it. You heard from Mike Shildt, and the Padres still an opportunity to win this series tomorrow evening. By the way, it is not an afternoon start time. We'll have more on that coming up in a little bit, but it is an evening game tomorrow here at Petco Park. We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll focus on one of the positives from today's game for the Padres. We'll also hear our catch of the game, look at the out-of-town scoreboard, and much more to do. Again, the final score, Rangers 7 and the Padres 4, our Jamul Casino Resort. Padres postgame show continues after this on the Padres Radio Network.
It's summer at Sequan. Swim and grab your favorite summer drink and watch your San Diego Padres at Retreat Pool and
Welcome back to the Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show, brought to you by the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. Sam Levitt back with you inside the Western Metal Building here at Petco Park as we continue to wrap this one up. Final score, Rangers 7 and the Padres 4. If you want to get a phone call in on this Saturday evening, you can do that by calling 833-288-0973. Again, the phone number, 833-288-0973. If you want to get involved. Another tremendous crowd here at Petco Park tonight, more than 43,000 plus in the building. Should just say more than 43,000 in the building, 43,297 to be exact, the 37 sellout of 2025. And I would imagine the Padres in all likelihood will pass the 40 sellout mark before the All-Star break, which is just terrific. I'll give you another bright spot of this game before we hear about relief pitcher of the game, and we also hear about our catch of the game. Manny Machado had another hit today, so that now leaves him 2 away from 2,000. He will end the night with 1,998 career hits. So with the way Manny swings it, you would very, very likely imagine that he will hit 2,000 at some point during this homestand, if not tomorrow. So, by the way, Manny turns 33 tomorrow. So could be a very memorable birthday, 33rd birthday for Manny Machado if he were to do it tomorrow. And certainly it's a distinct possibility, 2 away. So that's where Manny is as far as the chase for 2,000 hits. He's now 2 away from 2,000 on his career. Let's tell you about today's relief pitcher of the game.
Which pitcher entered the game and slammed the door shut? This is today's relief pitcher of the game, presented by David P. Shapiro Criminal Defense Attorneys. When your freedom and future are on the line, you need the best arm in the pen. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com.
Well, for our relief pitcher of the game tonight, we'll keep it on the Padres side of things because I do think there's a worthy candidate. Let's give it to Eduardo Nunez, who did a good job out of the bullpen. Nunez going an inning, and he came in a tough spot with a runner on base, got a pop out and 6-4-3 double play to record 3 outs in the 7th inning, keep it a 6-2 game. Padres then scored 2 in their half of the 7th inning. So Nunez did a good job keeping the deficit right where it was. He now in 2 appearances has not come in a clean inning. Both appearances so far, the one on the road in Philly and the one here at home, neither have been clean innings, and he did a nice job getting 3 outs in that 7th inning and keeping the deficit at 4. So the rookie Nunez making his 2nd major league appearance did a real nice job, and for that, Eduardo Nunez is our relief pitcher of today's game. Bullpen for the Padres, a little up and down. Yuki Matsui came in and allowed an inherited runner in the 6th inning. Nunez, like we said, nice 7th inning. Brian Hoeing had a tough appearance in the 8th. He only got 2 outs, allowed 2 hits, 1 earned run given up on a walk. Wandy Peralta was good, inning and a 3rd scoreless. So a bit of an up and down day for the Padres bullpen, but Nunez certainly pitched well enough to be named our relief pitcher of the game. Rangers played some really, really good defense in this game, really in a couple of different spots. Let's hear our catch of the game.
Which defensive play had the biggest impact on today's game?
He is at the wall, leaps up, and he makes the catch.
This is the catch of the game.
Gonna hang a star for Jackson Merrill.
Reeled in by Anthony's Fish Grotto La Mesa, celebrating 80 years of seafood excellence.
2-2 pitch, and Arise slices it the other way. Caught at third base by Smith. Little guy went up, kind of did that Fernando levitation play, and ends a 1-2-3, bottom of the 3rd inning.
Yeah, really nice play by Josh Smith at third base. Had to go to the apex of his leap and pulled it in. Really, really nice catch by Smith, and that was our catch of the game. Got to tell you, Wyatt Langford in left field also made a couple of great sliding catches, including one in the 1st inning to take a base hit and an RBI away from Xander Bogaerts. So good defense in left by Langford, very good defense there at third base by Smith. Rangers played good defense in this game, and that was our catch of today's game. Again, phone number to call if you want to get involved, 833-288-0973, 0973. When we come back, a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard. We'll have our play of the game. We'll get you ready for tomorrow. We'll see if we find out who the Padres starting pitcher will be before we get off the air. If not, then, well, going to have to follow along on social media, and we'll tell you there. Anyway, final score. Rangers 7, Padres 4, as the Padres lose the middle game of this series. Rubber game tomorrow. Post-game coverage continues after this.
Stay tuned to the Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show. Brought to you by the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players' Place.
Come on down.
Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Final score in the middle game of this series, the Rangers 7 and the Padres 4. Sam Levitt back with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park as we continue to wrap this one up. We'll have a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard in a moment. We'll also have our play of the game. I do want to remind you of something, and it actually was something I forgot to mention yesterday when we had a caller ask me about it, but thank goodness I remembered today. Do keep in mind, before the Padres play tomorrow, the all-star rosters, the full rosters, are set to be revealed on ESPN tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific time. So by the time the Padres play tomorrow, we'll know who is joining Manny Machado, the National League's starting third baseman, at the All-Star game in Atlanta. Coming up next week. So that should be exciting to see who else will be part of the National League All-Star team. So again, 2 p.m. tomorrow Pacific time, they will announce on ESPN the full rosters. So we'll see who else is joining Manny Machado. I would assume the Padres get in at least one or two more. Robert Suarez would seem like a pretty good bet to me. A couple others as well. I think you could make an argument for Nick Pivetta. I think you could make an argument for Adrian Morejon, certainly. You can make an argument for Jason Adam. I mean, I really think you can make an argument for all four of the high leverage guys as far as the bullpen, and make an argument for Pivetta. So we'll see who joins Manny Machado for the Padres at the All-Star game in Atlanta. We'll find that out before tomorrow's game. Let's take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard, tell you what's gone on around the major leagues.
Let's take a trip around the bigs to highlight the scores that matter most with our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Premium Beef Patties. Always a hit for grilling.
Everything has gone final across the major leagues tonight. Mariners beat the Pirates 1-0 in Seattle earlier. Giants beat the A's in Sacramento 7-2. White Sox beat the Rockies 10-3 in Colorado. Astros beat the Dodgers 6-4 in LA. Yainer Diaz, a home run in that game for the Astros. Tigers beat the Guardians 1-0 in Cleveland. The one run for the Tigers, Spencer Torkelson, a solo home run. How about this? Tigers won it with 2 hits. They won it 1-0, and the Guardians had no runs on 4 hits. The pitching side of things for the Tigers in that game, Casey Mize, really, really good 7 scoreless innings and shutout of the Guardians. So Torkelson's home run, the difference in that one. Diamondbacks beat the Royals 7-1. Mets beat the Yankees for a second straight day at Citi Field 12-6. Pete Alonso had 2 home runs. Brandon Nimmo also had a grand slam in that game. Marlins beat the Brewers 4-2 in Miami. Orioles beat the Braves in 10, 9-6 in Atlanta. Phillies beat the Reds 5-1 in Philadelphia. Red Sox beat the Nationals 10-3 in D.C. Blue Jays beat the Angels in 11 innings in Toronto by a final score of 4-3. Blue Jays won it on an Addison Barger 2-run base hit in the bottom half of the 11th inning. Blue Jays continue to play really, really well. Cardinals beat the Cubs 8-6 at Wrigley. Twins beat the Rays 6-5 in Minnesota. And that is a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard on this Saturday across the major leagues. How about this? In the AL East, the Blue Jays now lead the Yankees by 3 games. They're 3 games ahead of the Yankees and the Rays. So the Blue Jays have played really well as of late. They've won 7 in a row. And how about the Toronto Blue Jays? They've opened up a 3-game lead in the American League East. As far as where the Padres will sit at the end of tonight, they sit tied for the final wild card spot. They're in a 3-way tie with the Cardinals and Giants. And again, we're not really in scoreboard watching season yet, but in about a month, we're going to firmly be there as we roll into August. So Padres sitting in the final wild card spot. Mets in the number 1 spot right now. Brewers in the 2nd wild card spot. And that is where we are at the end of tonight. Let's hear today's play of the game.
The line between winning and losing can be razor thin. Which play was the difference between victory and defeat? This is today's play of the game, presented by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
2-2. Higashioka in the air to deep left field. Sheets is back at the wall. Gonna go. Kyle Higashioka, his 2nd as a Ranger, as he returns to Petco Park, makes a deposit in that Higgy bank in left field, and the Rangers go back in front. It's 3-2.
Kyle Higashioka had a big night, 5 RBIs for the former Padre. And hey, for as much as I enjoyed having Higgy around here last season, and I enjoyed catching up with Higgy today, doesn't give me any great pleasure for Kyle Higashioka to provide our play of the game, but kind of felt it had to be that way today. A 5 RBI day, 2 home runs, a 2-run home run for Higashioka in the 3rd. And that was that here tonight as the Rangers go on to win it 7-4. Speaking of Kyle Higashioka, I will tell you that you'll hear from him tomorrow on our pregame coverage. We caught up earlier today inside the clubhouse and talked about last season, talked about the way last season ended. And look, he hurt the Padres tonight, but he was a real nice player last year for this team. Great guy in the clubhouse, really good with the media as well. So good to see Higgy, and hey, hurt the Padres tonight, 5 RBIs for Kyle Higashioka, and sometimes it goes that way against your former team, and it went that way for Higashioka tonight. against the Padres as they fall 7-4. Well, as far as tomorrow's game, I would love to tell you I know who the starting pitcher is going to be, but at this moment, it has not been announced by the Padres. So right now, the Padres for tomorrow are TBA as far as the starting pitcher. When I find that out, I will put it out on X immediately. It's Sammy Lev, Sammylev, but Padres have not officially passed that along yet. So right now, at this current moment, it is to be announced for the Padres starting pitcher, right-hander Jack Leiter, on the mound for the Texas Rangers. First pitch tomorrow at 6:10 p.m. Our EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show will begin at 5:10. Again, first pitch tomorrow, 6:10 p.m. A little bit of a different Sunday start time than what we're used to, and the pregame coverage begins at 5:10. As always, if you missed any portion of our post-game coverage, you can go back and listen to all of it on the Inside San Diego Baseball podcast, available on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcasts. You can also go back on the 97.3 The Fan YouTube channel and watch any portion of our post-game coverage there as well. Taking a look at the final totals tonight. For the Rangers, 7 runs, 11 hits, no errors. They left on 6. For the Padres, 4 runs, 10 hits, no errors. They left on 10. Patrick Corbin, the winning pitcher, he's 5-7. Stephen Kolek, the losing pitcher, he's 3-4. And the save goes to Sean Armstrong, his 3rd of the season. Time of game here at Petco Park tonight, 2 hours and 57 minutes. And the crowd here in downtown San Diego, the 37th sellout of the season, 43,297. Once again, first pitch tomorrow at 6:10. Our pregame coverage begins at 5:10. Until then, for our great studio coordinator, Bobby Sharton, I'm Sam Levitt saying so long and good night from Petco Park. Again, the final score here tonight, the Texas Rangers 7 and the San Diego Padres 4. We'll talk to you tomorrow on the Padres Radio Network. Have a great night, everybody.